There's a specific moment most people never notice, and it's quietly destroying how everyone around them sees them. It happens when a friend texts you at 11 p.m. and you reply in 4 minutes. When a coworker just has a quick question every single afternoon. When your family assumes your Sunday is automatically available, and you say yes, and then yes again, until one day you're exhausted and resentful, with no idea how you got here. Here's the thing, Clover Tribe. People don't take your time because they're evil. They take it because you've never shown them it costs anything. You've been accidentally teaching everyone in your life that your attention is unlimited, free, and always on standby. One specific boundary, not a confrontation, not a big emotional conversation. One quiet, strategic shift changes this instantly. It's called the availability cap. And once you install it, the way people treat you shifts in a way that almost feels unfair. I've got 8 psychological reasons why this works. Stay with me. Before we dive into the how, take a look at the 4 pillars of the availability cap. This is the roadmap for the shift we're about to make together. First, we hit the reinforcement brake. We're going to stop the fixed ratio reinforcement, the psychological loop that has accidentally trained people to treat your time like a slot machine. Next, we master the response time signal. We're moving away from instant replies toward deliberate windows, broadcasting that you are high status and in demand rather than perpetually interruptible. Then, we build your protected time architecture. We are replacing self-erasure with structured blocks, using the scarcity principle to naturally assign a higher value to your life. Finally, the identity shift. This is the core, moving from a reactive state to an intentional one with an internal locus of control. We're changing how you see yourself, so the world has no choice but to follow suit. Ready to install the cap? Let's start with why your own kindness is actually the thing holding you back. Number 8. And this one stings a little. You didn't end up overextended because people are selfish. You got here because you're kind. And your kindness accidentally trained the people around you like Pavlov trained his dogs. Someone needed something. You were there. Again and again, your availability was the reward at the end of every ask. Human brains learn patterns fast. Your people learned that reaching for you always works. No friction, no delay, no limit. Behavioral psychology calls this a fixed ratio reinforcement schedule. It's the same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. Every pull pays out, so people keep pulling. The availability cap interrupts that pattern. It introduces what psychologists call response cost, a signal that your time has weight. The moment it has weight, it has value, and people start treating it, and you, differently. Number 7. Hear this without guilt. Most people feel uncomfortable limiting their availability because someone told them scarcity around yourself is manipulative. A power move, playing games, wrong. Your time is genuinely finite. 24 hours, one person. Pretending otherwise isn't generosity. It's a performance that always ends in burnout. The availability cap isn't a mind trick. It's you finally telling the truth about your actual resources. Cialdini's scarcity principle shows that humans naturally assign higher value to things that are limited, because limited things genuinely are more valuable. When you make yourself scarce, not to punish anyone, but because your time is real, people recalibrate. They stop treating your attention like a vending machine and start treating it like a reservation. Something worth appreciating. You're not playing games. You're just finally playing accurate. Number 6. Invisible until you see it, then you can't unsee it. Every time you respond to a message, your response time sends a silent social signal. Most people have never intentionally chosen what that signal says. If you reply in under 2 minutes to almost everything, you broadcast one message. I have nothing more important happening than responding to you right now. To the receiving brain, that reads as low status. Not because fast responses are wrong, but because they signal you are always interruptible. High-quality, in-demand people don't reply instantly to everything. Not because they don't care, because they're actually doing things. The availability cap includes a response time component. You pick windows, you respond in those windows. And something remarkable happens. People start wondering what you're doing. Your presence, when it arrives, feels more intentional, more like a gift, less like a given. Number 5. This one makes people uncomfortable when they first hear it. Every time you say yes when you mean not right now, you're borrowing against your future self's energy and paying interest. Researchers call this decision fatigue. Every interrupt, every unscheduled demand drains measurable cognitive fuel. By the time you reach the things that actually matter, the creative work, the deep conversations, you're running on fumes. Not because you're weak, because you allowed 100 small withdrawals to drain the account. The availability cap creates protected time architecture, specific windows where you're fully present for others, and outside them, fully present for yourself. Here's what catches people off guard. Most people in your life don't need you immediately. They reach for you because you've always been reachable. Give them a window, and they'll happily wait, and respect you more for having structure. Number 4. Every behavior you repeat becomes a story other people tell about who you are. Automatically. The human brain is a pattern recognition machine, and the people around you constantly update their model of you based on what you repeatedly do. If you're always available, if reaching you always works, the story their brain writes is, "This person's time is the least scarce resource I have access to." That story affects everything: how they prioritize you, whether they value what you say, whether they see you as someone operating from overflow or desperation. The availability cap rewrites the story through pattern, not confrontation. You change what you repeatedly do, and their brain updates the model without a single word from you. Same person, different pattern, completely different story. Number 3. The one people always ask for first. You don't have to announce this. No group chat speech, no policy declaration. That creates drama. Here's the actual process. Step 1. Decide your windows. 2 or 3 time blocks each day for checking and responding to messages. Outside those windows, notifications off, physically off. Step 2. Let behavior do the talking. First time someone asks why you replied 4 hours later, you say, "Yeah, I've just been heads down. What's up?" That's it. No explanation needed. Step 3. Hold the line on the first test. There will be a test. Someone reaches out urgently. Unless it's a genuine emergency, you respond in your next window. That one hold is worth 100 conversations. Within 2 weeks, the people in your life recalibrate. Not because you changed who you are, because you finally showed them what you're worth. Number 2. The most counterintuitive thing in this video. When you become less available, your relationships don't suffer. For most people, they get measurably better. Constant availability creates what therapists call enmeshment drift. When someone can reach you at any moment, the relationship loses its edges. No anticipation, no relief of reconnection. It starts feeling less like a relationship and more like a utility service. Healthy limits reintroduce something relationship research consistently identifies as essential: desire. The sense that this person's time is worth wanting, worth waiting for. People who install an availability cap report that conversations feel more focused, plans feel more valued, not because they talked less, but because the time they shared started carrying weight again. Less access, more connection. That's the paradox. And it's not a trick. It's just attachment psychology. And finally, number 1, the one that changes everything underneath all the others. The most powerful effect of the availability cap isn't what it does to other people. It's what it does to you. When you stop organizing your life around being accessible, you stop experiencing yourself as reactive, someone whose day is defined by whoever reaches out next. You start experiencing yourself as someone with direction, an agenda, a life with momentum. Psychologists call this internal locus of control, the belief that you are shaping your time, not just responding to demands. Research shows people with high internal locus of control experience lower chronic stress, higher self-esteem, and better outcomes across nearly every domain. The availability cap is an identity installation. The moment you protect your time, you start believing it's worth protecting. People feel that before you explain it. They sense someone operating from choice rather than fear. You don't change how people treat you by demanding it. You change it by becoming someone who treats themselves that way first. So here's what we actually trace today. The anatomy of one invisible trap, the trap of infinite access. It doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like being a good person, being there for everyone. But availability without architecture isn't generosity. It's self-erasure in slow motion. The people around you don't get the best of you. They get the leftover, depleted version. The availability cap gives everyone the version they deserve. Someone who shows up intentionally, with energy, with something real to offer, because you protected that version of yourself long enough to let them meet it. 2 weeks, make the quiet decision, live it, hold the line. Watch the story change. Drop a note in the comments if you're installing the availability cap this week, and tell me the one situation you need to start protecting yourself from. I read every single one. I'm Willow, and until next time, protect your time like it's the only currency that actually matters, and mind yourself. I'll see you in the next one.